We would like to begin by thanking you all for coming to celebrate what has been the greatest year in fantasy football history. This year, a true champion will be crowned in Division A. Did you modify this? That doesn't sound like what I wrote. Here we go. We would like to begin by thanking you all for coming here to pay your respects for what was the worst year fantasy football has ever seen. We cannot lay this season to rest fast enough. From the plague of domestic violence charges, injuries, and Deflategate in the NFL, to the allegations of collusion in Division A, some feel this season has an asterisk looming over it. Nevertheless, we had a crop of talented teams who rose to the occasion and laughed in the face of adversity. Through bye weeks, injuries, and suspensions, these elite teams made moves necessary to put their best teams on the field week after week. While we celebrate these teams and their triumphs today, let us also not forget the unsung heroes. These are the teams who did what they could to put the best team on the field week after week, knowing full well they were merely polishing a turd. You know who you are. But no matter what your record, whether you are a winner or a loser, you can hold your head high knowing you played in the best fantasy football league in the land, the League of Lamp. Yeah! For that, we give you an applause. Now for the moment we've all been waiting for, the introduction of teams. As with tradition, we will start with Division B. Yahoo's draft day prediction for our first team was to go 1-12 on the season, but boy did she prove them wrong. Finishing with a record of 3-10, that prediction was about the only thing she beat this season. Despite the dynamite imploding rather than exploding, she did come first in one category out of both leagues, the furthest fall in rankings. If she could only cash in those gold medals for some wins. From second place to last place, it's Dot's Dynamite team, head coach Dorothy Collegian.
Hey, honey!
Thanks for being in the league.
Very proudly.
The only way to accurately depict our next team season is to read messages the head coach posted throughout the year. Quote, I would like to thank my quarterback, receivers, and tight end for all their hard work this week for a combined 11.44 points. A special honorable mention award goes out to the defense for a negative 2.25. I think instead of looking at those new tablets on the sideline, they should check their pathetic fantasy scores. Due to personal health reasons caused by poor player performance, bad management decisions, questionable officiating, and any other reason to place blame, I may be forced to sell the team. Grace and Matthew are currently strong candidates since they are good with apps, know the Wi-Fi password, and which channel the red zone is. That's just about what I know, if not more. As a side note, all sharp objects have been removed from the residence until further notice. Another post more simply reads, so the Giants lost, the survivor pool is history, and I suck at fantasy. How can Sunday possibly be a day of rest when all I do is get pissed? When does hockey start? We feel your pain. In 11th place is Brian's Benchwarmers, head coach Brian Lampman.
Congratulations.
We have a special gift for you, too, in honor of hockey season.
Did you slip that to your car? Or? Oh, I'm scared.
Our next underachieving team drafted second overall and was predicted to go 9-4 on the season. She was so happy with the draft results that when she went home, celebrated a little too much, and wound up pregnant. That's right, the first ever League of Lamp baby. Unfortunately for her, the draft day hangover set in with an 0-2 start and an injured Jimmy Graham. After a while, she couldn't tell whether it was morning sickness or her fantasy team that kept her. In 10th place is Missy's Minecrafters head coach Melissa Coyle.
I'm giving her.
She needs extra room.
She
said her lineup through.
Congratulations.
True statement.
Heavy metal bands may fill seats at concerts, but our next team surely didn't fill any seats the way they played this year. He won his last 3 games of the season, but it was too little too late, as he fell short of the playoffs. His only comfort is knowing that with his last win, he kept his sister out of the playoffs too.
Yeah.
In 9th is heavy metal team head coach Scott Lamb.
Yeah. I only play to beat the family, that's all. Thank you.
While our next team knows all the ingredients required to bake a killer cake, she apparently doesn't know the ingredients required to put together a win. 3 demoralizing losses to Eric, Anthot, and Scott at the end of the season kept her from heading to glory in the playoffs. In 8th place is Shake and Bake, head coach Jamie and Brian Donahue.
Cheaters!
No, that was very unjust.
Our next team had issues both on and off the field this season. While the head coach insisted the team was fine, it's hard to believe seeing their head coach carted off in zip-tie handcuffs was good for team morale. Nevertheless, they were the winner of the losers bracket this year. In 7th place is Eric's team. In his first season, our next team got off to an amazing 6-0 start and made it to the playoffs. See, fantasy football not that hard, right? Unfortunately, he was introduced to the cold, hard reality of fantasy football when his opponent put up 193 points against him in the first round of the playoffs. Couldn't get 194. In 6th place is newcomer Kyle's clan, head coach Kyle Tomaskovic. Our 5th place team went with a bold strategy on draft day, baby distraction. It seemed to pay off, starting the season at a hot 6-1. After that, the Queen went on a bit of a slide, most likely because Justin's paternity leave was up and he had to go back to work. Whatever the reason, an A for effort to the Queen of Queens, head coach Meredith Schaefer.
Accepting on behalf.
Yeah.
Is that Justin's
Her
other
agent
team?
is accepting this award on her behalf. The 4th place team this year was a bit of a shocker. I still don't think she even knows she finished in 4th. After a few drinks on Thanksgiving Eve, the truth about her success slipped. And I quote, "I just picked the players that have the most projected points and put them in." Sounds like a solid plan to me. Not only finishing in 4th, but the champion of her family is Clueless Cricket, head coach Chris Lampman.
Make sure you turn for the photo.
That's Justin and Brian's joint other team.
Nobody helped me.
Dad picked the players.
No, he didn't.
Yahoo's draft analysis predicted our next team to finish at 2-11. And if you're not keeping track, we've now reached 3rd place. Fun fact, this team finished in 3rd place last year, too. I guess they don't like winning the title, just their money back. Right where he was last year in 3rd place is Butler Brewers head coach Jim Lampman. This brings us to the final countdown, the top 2. Our next team decided to depart from his winning strategy of last season. Rather than leaving his team alone, he made a stunning 2 moves on the waiver wire. Could this have been his downfall? Theorize all you want, but this team's impressive run for the 2nd year in a row was cut short in the championship game. He still gets to see the trophy every day, but now it belongs to somebody else. In 2nd place is Walter's super team, head coach Walter Lampman. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that leaves one team left.
Cheater!
Champion. I don't want to call the rest of you out, but he told you his plan on draft day. And I quote, "I have one goal this year, to crush my brother. Ask and you shall receive." On Monday night of the championship game, he overcame a 31-point deficit to seal the championship. Luck was certainly not his only factor, as the team made a league-high 40 moves on the waiver wire on his path to the title. That's dedication. Ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet and give it up for the 2014 League of Lamp Division B World Champion, Ryan Rhino.
I'll take that for the backup. You know, you're gonna win it.
At this time, the champion would like to address the league with any answer any questions.
You have to do an arrest. He's underage. He's not allowed to gamble.
No, you don't want to.
Can't hawk the trophy. Come back.
He accepts the prize, he's professional, so.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. As you already know, my team and I have put out an amazing effort to be where we are right now. If I may recall, as an outstanding coach, I strategically made the most moves in the league. Also, if I could just remind everyone here about some vows I made to the league at the beginning of the year, saying all I want to do is crush my brother. And next year I was going for Uncle Bubbles. This year, I think I had a better performance than my uncle. He was 6-7, I was 9-4, so kill two birds with one stone. Anyway, I'd like to thank the commissioner for letting me take home the trophy, this time to my room. And I'd like to thank my brother for making a mere 2 moves to my 40. Thank you.
Anybody have questions for the champion?
So about
Yes.
those 2 moves, do you know my password?
Yes, but that's not the case. Any more questions?
How are your grades?
I have A's in every single subject.
Any other questions?
What kind of research tactics do you use to draft your team? Do you read special magazines or anything like that? Articles online?
What I do is I just see which one of my players are hurt, and if they're hurt, I drop them and get a new player.
Try that one.
Any other questions for our champion?
Interrupt the president speaking right now. You may have to interrupt the news.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very much. All right, amateur hour is now over and it's time for Division A. The competition this season was tougher than ever, with last year's top 3 teams making up this year's bottom 3. Not only was it the league's toughest season, but it was its most controversial. Allegations of collusion were thrown around. I am not here today to debate whether there was collusion or not, partially because we kind of think there was. The League of Lamp has zero tolerance policy for cheating, and in an effort to prevent it, next season we may see the first ever realignments. Now let's continue the celebration in honoring the good, the bad, and the ugly in the League of Lamp Division A. Bringing up the rear is a real horse's ass. This team thought they had a gift from God dropped in their lap when with the 10th overall pick they scooped up Adrian Peterson. But now it just looks like everybody else knew something else was up. Collusion? We'll never know, but in dead last is yours truly, Competition Central. Our next coach was so embarrassed by the team this year that he didn't show his face all season long. Sure, it's a 4-hour drive, but can you put a time limit on precious family memories and good times? Nevertheless, something tells me we will see him at the draft in person next season after his proxy drafted him 4 tight ends. In 11th place is Charm City Hoodrats head coach Dan Ferrugio. Accepting on his behalf is his proxy, who he blames for the failure of this season. Our next disappointment got an unfamiliar taste in their mouth week 3, defeat. Losing proved to be a devastating blow to this team, and they struggled to find the magic that once made them perfect. Experts speculate whether it was a tough draft position, trouble in free agency, or injuries, but I have my own theory. The team's distraction issues seemed to come right around the time they started seeing someone else. We can't know for sure whether Jen is in fact the root of all evil. But one thing is for sure, he still has, and the only undefeated season in the league history. In 10th is Beavis and Butt Fumble head coach Kevin Lampman. Beavis and Butt Fumble claims they're not here today to not celebrate us in protest of collusion, but I think he's too embarrassed to show his face.
Nobody wants
Yeah.
to say. Somebody's gotta accept it.
I'll do it.
I'm not getting anything.
Yahoo's draft score gave our next team a C, saying their only above average position by group was his kickers. Yahoo couldn't have been too far off, as they correctly predicted him to finish in 9th place. Perhaps they should check their lineup during Our next failure was on the losing end of the biggest blowout this season. In Week 10, they lost 190 to 87, a deficit of 103 points.
What was that?
It was in part due to a pair of wide receivers that went without a catch or any single point. I guess the team had run out of steam and gluten at that point. In 8th place is ground and pound head coach Kevin Colton.
That was a great speech.
Who killed you that week?
It's news
I
to
think
me.
it was Craig. The winner of the losers this season is a team at the heart of controversy. Spending most of their time at the bottom of the barrel, they fought hard when it mattered most and moved up the ranks in the playoffs. They struggled to keep talent on the field this season, mostly because it was given away to a valuable team. Not to say who it was. In 7th place is I Love Peyton head coach Sarah Grenier.
Take turns, Sarah.
Congrats, you got a turn for your.
Yahoo predicted our next team to be a complete dud. Projected to finish dead last with a 1-12 record, this team instead got off to a 3-0 start and brought perfection's run to an end. Like father, like son, finishing in 6th place is E Street Nation head coach Mark Tomaskovic.
Hey, someone's gotta take his picture.
We're gonna be frozen here for a while. You gotta grab your camera.
Up next is a team who thought they could ride the coattails of a solid draft day proxy. While it carried them into the playoffs, they fell short in the first round. Fun fact, the Steelers also lost in the first round of the playoffs. In 5th place is Steel Curtain head coach Scott Soralik.
They all go smiling now.
The next team on the list finished the regular season in 2nd place, but managed to turn that into a 4th place finish. He wanted to be with us today, but underestimated how long it would take to row his concrete canoe here. He's currently in Philadelphia and is expected to arrive Tuesday. In 4th place is Toronto Tweakers head coach Craig Lambman.
Maybe wait a few minutes. Take care of your brother.
All right.
We're kind of wedged in over here, so.
This next team didn't have the courage to show up today either, probably because he didn't want his new son to see him as a failure. He took the top pick in the draft and a projected 1st place finish and turned it into 3rd. Plus, his 3rd place payout probably wouldn't get him gas and tolls back to Queens. In 3rd place is King of Beers head coach Justin Schaefer. Anybody want to accept?
I don't have the
He doesn't
envelope.
get one.
Turn.
He's 3rd.
His went towards the golf fountain.
Oh, okay.
He told me to do that. All right, we have reached the final 2. In 2nd place is a team that brought police brutality to a new level on the Mixed Quarters. He called out a lot of teams, especially this year's champion, and he even made a few suggestions for next year. Well, I have a suggestion for him for this year. Maybe if you put a little more effort into your team and not your wife's team, you'd be doing a little less complaining and a lot more winning.
Cheaters!
Whatever happened to leaving it all out on the field? At least he didn't resort to putting his opponents in chokeholds to get cheap wins. Finishing in 2nd place is Bacon Bits head coach Brian Donahue.
People's champion.
Second place is the first loser.
Ladies and gentlemen, this leaves us but one man standing. Our final team this evening Our final team this evening bent the rules but to put together a winning formula. Since the inaugural season of the League of Lamp, this coach has been developing a solid practice squad in the form of his wife's team. Helped keep his players competitive, as those who were started to slide were traded away to work through their issues. Last season, he was too embarrassed with his antics to show his face at the draft, but this season, he shows his face before you today as a champion. Is he undefeated? No. Is he champion? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the 2014 League of Lamp Division A World Champion, Mr. Lampman. Forward and address the league and answer any questions you may have.
Oh, here we go.
Hello. Hello. Just want to say thank you to everyone. It's going to be short and sweet. I want to thank my father-in-law for letting me take his name, Mr. Lampman. And I'm going to open it up to questions.
On the trophy, is there anything that shows the collusion?
Is there an asterisk?
Is there an asterisk? I personally requested an asterisk.
I'm only here so I don't get fined.
Same
thing you said yesterday.
Fake balls.
Ask my practice squad team.
Was there collusion?
No.
Did you have access to trades between people that lived in your residence?
Mr. Lampman thought they had to clear waivers.
Tell Mike Tom Brady, we'll figure it out after the Super Bowl. That's what he said.
Any more questions? So now I have something for all of you. For all the haters on me. You're hating?
I have a question.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
What's this?
A pretzel.
First honest answer today.
For all the people that hated on me in the league, I have a little gift for you.
You also probably did Spygate too.
Special edition Haterade mugs. With all of my trades on the back.
Can I submit this into evidence, Mr.
Alright, let me see that.
Did you have permission to use this logo?
Actually, the company that I got it from, they said, like, we're not responsible for any lawsuits.
Yes,
Who wants to give us
CFT
a
you drink from?
Was that Justin?
Is it BPA free?
Check out the bottom.
I know, that's what I said. There's a heavy glass.
You could use that to crush nuts.
All right, well, the championship. Yeah.
I mean, for cooking.
Any other questions for the champion? Justin's not here.
And Dan's not here.
Dan's not here. Well, the champion.
Oh, and Craig. What about Craig?
Yeah.
You got one?
Anybody who was in either leagues, hang back for a quick team photo we'll have up here. and then we'll have some champagne with the champion to celebrate their wins.
Right.
And we'll also have a quick survey to pass out about the future of the league. All your hopes and dreams for it. All right.
Can I
I
involve?
think if are there any other questions out there before we wrap this up?
Are these
What I like
clean?
to
Can we
see.
drink out of them?
All right. Well, thank you all for coming,
Thanks, James.
and we'll see you all next season.